Welcome, everyone. This is,
TaijhTV.
and welcome. I named the title of this episode By Any Means Necessary. I truly believe that they're destroying America by any means necessary. And they're using Joe Biden to do it. I think Joe is just so out of it, or he's acting as if he's just so out of it, that they're using him. He's the puppet. But who's the puppeteer? Who's the puppet master? Who's controlling the strings? Many say they think it's Obama. I don't. You see, I think every president is a puppet. And if they're not, they get rid of them. Every politician is a puppet. Every entertainer, every influencer of notoriety is a puppet. That's what I truly believe. But in this instance, Joe Biden's the biggest puppet. He's actively destroying America. See, with Donald Trump, he wanted America first. That wasn't the agenda. They had to get Donald Trump out of office by any means necessary. And they're still doing it. But first, let's see Joe Biden giving student loan debt relief. Let's watch how Joe works.
The authority Congress granted the Department of Education $1,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced to $20,000. Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most. Working and middle-class people hit especially hard during the pandemic, making under $125,000 a year. All this means people can finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt, to get on top of their rent and their utilities, to finally
get from under that mountain of debt and get under a new mountain of debt. I've explained before that we are a debt society. The economy is a debt economy. That's how it's been running for the last 100, 200 years. Who do you think is going to pay off this relief? It's going to be the middle class. The middle class is always hit with the bill. But do you remember when Donald Trump was in office? The Wicked Witch of the West, Nancy Pelosi, well, she said that a president himself cannot do this. Let's watch it.
People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress. And I don't even like to call it forgiveness, because that implies a transgression. It's not to be forgiven. Just freeing people from those obligations.
She wasn't lying right there. That Wicked Witch told the truth. It is not to be forgiven. Somebody is footing this bill, and what they're going to try to do is give it to the middle class. Seems like every week we're paying Ukraine $1 billion to help them fight this war against Russia. We're giving out stimuluses, free money here, free money there. Keep it printing, keep it printing. And we wonder why nations have lost trust in the American dollar. But don't worry, that's not all Joe Biden is doing. That's not all the White House is doing. No, they're going after political rivals. Donald Trump. Again, Donald Trump does not fit that narrative of collapsing America for the betterment of China or the BRICS nations as a whole. No, Trump wanted America first. He wanted America on the moon first, America in space first, America on Mars first. And he also wanted America for this new digital revolution that we're headed to. He wanted us to lead the charge. So right now they're actively targeting him. And they have been targeting Donald Trump for at least 5 to 6 years. I've never seen one man be targeted so much by the U.S. government.
The American people about what they knew and when they knew it. Here with this big breaking news, he's the editor-in-chief at justthenews.com. John Solomon is with us, investigative reporter. This is a big story because they knew. They told us they didn't know anything, but the Biden White House knew.
Yeah, not only did they know, they were pushing the investigation. They gave the permission to the National Archives to send the original boxes of documents.
Not only did they know, the White House pushed for Donald Trump to be investigated. That raid at Mar-a-Lago, that seems like some shit that Putin would do. Doesn't that seem like some shit Russia would do? But no, it's being done here in America. You see, they're slowly changing the republic to the Democrat and now to the socialist, communist society. This has been happening since they took us off the gold standard. It's been happening since, shit, let's say fucking Roosevelt when he fucking confiscated all the gold from the people. Without money, you don't have a revolution. Without bloodshed, you have no revolution. They know this. These people created the art of war. When I say these people, the elites. But they also know what the people are capable of. They're not stupid. But the White House targeting Donald Trump. Let's listen.
Documents that Donald Trump had sent back to the archives to the FBI. That launches the criminal investigation. They then give the archives the permission, Joe Biden's blessing, to waive the president's best legal defense by saying you can't claim executive privileges over this. The current president will not allow it to happen. All that occurs long before a grand jury drops a subpoena on President Trump's lawyers in May and June, and long before the raid. The Biden White House is at the ignition point of this investigation. And it's ironic because if you remember back in 2019 and 2020, it was the Biden Democrats that were complaining about efforts to start an investigation of Hunter Biden. Now they're caught doing the same thing, trying to push an investigation of their political rival, the opposition leader of the party, likely to face him in 2024.
Don't you find that funny? Oh, Donald Trump, don't talk about my son, Hunter Biden. You're going after me. Yeah. Comes to find out that laptop story was fucking true. But it's also deeply troubling when the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, credible, institution that used to be credible, I don't know if they still are, but a credible institution, warned agents off Hunter Biden's laptop due to the 2020 election. This is per a whistleblower. Do you see what's happening? This seems like some stuff that Putin would do. This seems like stuff of communist nations, dictatorships. FBI officials told agents not to investigate first son Hunter Biden's infamous laptop for months, vowing that the Bureau was not going to change the outcome of the election again. Again? You remember that thing with Hillary? Bleaching the servers? Doesn't it seem like Democrats are doing the naughty things and they want the shit hidden so they can assume power? Doesn't it seem like that's happening? It's because it is happening. It's happening right in front of our eyes. And we're allowing it. Because most of Americans are sheeple. Dumb, deaf, and blind. And they choose to stay that way because that's their comfortability. They don't want responsibility of this magnitude. Most Americans don't want a revolution. No, they just want to live their lives. But now you have FBI, intelligence agencies going after the president, the person in which they're supposed to protect, our former president, Donald Trump. But during the 2020 election, he was the president. So they didn't have the best interests of the nation at heart. They had motivation behind investigations. And now Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, billionaire, once the world's richest man, still up there, top 5. He talks about the censorship of the Hunter Biden laptop. Listen to what he says. It's crazy.
The distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it. You could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
It got shared.
how does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely,
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But I mean, but basically, a lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper political issue. So depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much. But we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's a very professional law enforcement, they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
It fit the pattern. There was a pattern with the FBI telling Facebook on what to censor and what not to censor. Now, we all know right now that they censored the Hunter Biden laptop. We all know that. It already happened. They just came out and admitted it. That's troubling. That was a fucking president of the United States. Allegedly the most powerful man on this planet. But don't worry, because they want you to live in this socialist nation. If you don't believe me, listen to this. It'll tell you exactly what they want. It'll tell you exactly what they want. They will not stop until a socialist state is across New York City.
I know we're saving the speeches for a little later, but today we really proved that socialism wins. We are not going anywhere, and we will not stop until we see a socialist state across this city.
It's a Democrat right there who won. Christian Gonzalez. Don't you like it how they use, and when I say they, I mean the elite. Don't you like how they use the Latino community, the Black community, the Asian community? Don't you love how the elite use that community to push their agenda? Martin Luther King, I mean, you don't have to agree with me. He was a Marxist socialist. He believed in socialism. He wanted peace. He wanted love. But he wanted socialism too. That I don't know how else to paint the picture for you. I don't know how else to show you beyond how I'm showing you. I play the audio. I play the video. And you guys still have questions about it. Or you guys just don't give a fuck. Which is kind of crazy that you don't give a fuck. Because other nations who will prosper in this fourth industrial revolution, other nations give a fuck. Their people give a fuck. And the long life of poverty, what many of those nations had, will soon be over. Now, when I say the elite, Putin knows who I'm talking about. Putin says, when someone in the US is elected, they may have some ideas. Then people with briefcases arrive, wearing dark suits. These people start explaining how things are done, and instantly everything changes. This happens with every administration. Now, people around the world, some people say that Putin is the richest man on this planet. Some people say that Putin has a big voice on worldly affairs. Maybe that's why no other nation has went after Russia for invading Ukraine. What if Putin is that person in that black suit that tells administrations what to do? I don't know. Let's listen to him.
Понимаете, я уже общался и с одним президентом США, и с другим, и с третьим. Президенты приходят и уходят, а политика не меняется. Знаете почему? Потому что очень сильна власть бюрократии. Вот человека избрали, он приходит с одними идеями, к нему приходят люди с кейсами, хорошо одетые и в темных, как у меня, костюмах, но только не с красным галстуком, а с черным или с темно-синим. И начинают объяснять, как нужно делать. И все сразу меняется, понимаете? Это происходит от одной администрации к другой. Вот что-то изменить – это достаточно сложное дело. Это, я говорю без всякой иронии. Это не потому, что кому-то не хочется, а потому что это сложно. Вот Обама, он продвинутый человек, очень человек либеральных взглядов, правда, демократ. Он же перед выборами своими обещал закрыть Гуантанамо. Сделал? Нет. А почему? Он что, не хотел? Очень хотел. Я уверен, что хотел. Но не получилось. Он искренне к этому стремился. Не получается. Не так все просто. Но это не самый главный вопрос, хотя это важно. Это трудно себе представить. Да? Люди в кандалах ходят там уже десятилетиями, без суда и следствия. Ну, представьте себе, Франция бы так сделала или Россия. С потрохами бы сожрали уже давно. Нет, в Соединенных Штатах это возможно, и до сих пор продолжается. Вот, кстати, к вопросу о демократии. Но я сейчас не для этого пример этот привел. Я привел, потому что не все так просто. Но все-таки у меня есть определенная доля сдержанного оптимизма. Мне кажется, что мы по ключевым вопросам можем и должны договариваться.
I find it quite funny that he used Obama as an example. But Joe Biden signed Executive Order 14067. This will allow for the collapse of the American dollar. This will allow for fiat paper money to go away and them introduce a Federal Reserve, CBDC, central bank digital currency, dollar that they can track how you spend it, that they can track how you use it, how you save it. You control the people by controlling their finances. They know this. They created the rules. Again, they are the elite. Jim Rickards' prediction, Biden bucks. I ain't going to go that far calling it that. But the US dollar is spyware, or will be spyware. I looked into this executive order and it's about digital currencies and all that shit. We know the CBDC is coming. CBDCs have been rolling out around the world. Stellar Lumens, XLM, Ripple, XRP. They have been going around the world with central banks, with countries, helping them digitalize their dollar. Let's listen to a little bit of Jim Rickards and what he says.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for today's talk. There's an urgent situation unfolding in America, and today I'll unveil all the unnerving details. So let's get started with a critical question. Where were you on March 9th, 2022, when President Biden signed the death warrant on American freedom? On that day, in hush ceremony at the White House, without the approval of Congress, the states, or the American people, Biden signed into law Executive Order 14067. Buried in his order are a few paragraphs titled Section 4. The language in Section 4 makes Order 14067 the most treacherous act by a sitting president in the history of our republic, because Section 4 sets the stage for legal government surveillance of all U.S. citizens, total control over your bank accounts and purchases, and the ability to silence all dissenting voices for good. In this,
Don't you find that funny? Able to silence all dissenting voices. If you don't agree with Joe Biden or the people who control Joe Biden, then your social credit score will be negative. That you might be targeted like former President Donald Trump. And many of us don't have the political pull, the power, or the fucking money that Trump has to protect himself. So that's throwing us out there to the wolves. That's our president throwing us out to the wolves. But you're happy over a $10,000 student loan relief. Illegal student loan relief, per Nancy Pelosi's comments. What our president has done, a lot of it has been fucking illegal. Or they're just liars. And when I say they, your Nancy Pelosi's, your Mitch McConnell's, they just play politics too much. Either they're lying or Joe Biden is committing fucking serious crimes.
this new war on freedom, the Dems aren't coming for your guns. No, they're thinking much bigger than that. They're coming for your money. And it's already started. Hi, my name is Jim Rickards. I'm a former advisor to the Pentagon, the White House, Congress, the CIA, and the Department of Defense. I'm also an attorney, investment banker, and author of 7 books on currencies and international economics. When places like Fox, CNBC, or Bloomberg want to know what's about to shake up the global economy, they call me. Most of all, like you, I'm a proud American patriot. The disturbing predictions you're about to see are based on my independent research and my contacts in the intelligence community. I've never made this kind of public announcement before, but it's my duty to pull the alarm. This is what I believe Section 4 of Biden's order means for all Americans. The US dollar will be made obsolete. Soon your cash will be confiscated or will simply be worthless paper. The cash currency we have now will be replaced with a new programmable digital token. But the truth is, few outside the deep state recognize Biden's move for what it really is. If my predictions are correct, this is so much more sinister than simply replacing the cash dollar with a new digitized version. Friend, this new currency will allow for total control of all American citizens, because every digital dollar will be programmed by the government. That means they will be able to turn on or turn off your money at will. Not only that, but they'll be able to track and record every purchase you make. This is very different than online banking and has nothing to do with crypto. I'll explain everything in a moment. But what you need to know now is AOC has already publicly declared her support for a government-controlled spyware currency. The digital dollar means Dems will be able to punish any contribution, purchase, or even social media comment that they don't like. And this isn't something years away. It's starting now. Biden's secret army has been hard at work, and U.S. trials are already well underway. In fact, our government is racing to catch up. China and Russia have already launched pilot programs for their own digital currencies. More than half the countries in the world and almost 90% of central banks are testing or exploring a digital currency right now. In my opinion, it's not a question of will the U.S. implement a digital dollar. It's just a question of when. And the answer to that is it's already happening. Under Project Lithium and Project Hamilton, the new spyware currency has been quietly tested for several years. There's no stopping it. I predict we'll see a digital dollar in circulation next year or 2024 at the latest. But I do have some good news for you. It's almost too late, but you can still protect your assets and your freedom if you know exactly what to do. In the next 84 seconds, I'm going to outline everything for you. You'll see the ugly proof of their plan. You'll see what this could mean for you and your life savings. I'm also going to show you the only way I trust to protect your money and your freedom from Biden's new surveillance machine. I call it asset emancipation, and it's easy to do and understand. If you choose to take advantage of it, asset emancipation is a way to legally secure and even grow your wealth while hiding it safely away from Democrat surveillance and control. It's a loophole designed to outsmart a new spyware currency, while potentially increasing your personal wealth. But you must know exactly how to do it, and that's what I'm going to show you today. I must warn you, some of this will be difficult to watch, but if you care about your money and your freedom, please do not turn away. Thanks to what you'll witness here, you're about to be much more prepared for the...
All right, I'm not going to play all of it, but you can go to Stock Trend Alerts and you could watch this. It's 44 or 42, 40 minutes, 24 seconds. I don't have time to watch all of it. But this is the state of America. But it's not just America. Oh, no. It's a lot of those NATO allies doing that tricky shit. Us, France, the UK. Oh, we're doing a lot of tricky shit. French President Macron proclaims the end of abundance, cites sacrifices to defend freedom. You see, these elites, this is how evil they are. These leaders that are selected, not elected, they tell you you have to sacrifice. A food shortage will come. Your money getting confiscated. The digital transformation of the world is going to take time. So you have to sacrifice for the better good of the world. Not them. They'll still have their fucking multi-million-dollar jets flying all across the fucking world, fucking all the fine honeys. They'll still do it. They don't give a fuck. No, it's just for us. Let's listen to this snake oil salesman.
What we are living through is a time of great upheaval. Firstly, because we are witnessing, and not just since this summer, but over the past few years, the end of what we might have seen as abundance. And for those who enjoyed it, it is also the end of a carefree time. Our freedom, the liberty to which we have grown accustomed to in our lives, has a price, and sometimes when we have to defend it, we have to make certain sacrifices as we fight to defend it.
It's crazy. He says fight. He says defend. But Russia and China are the only ones that seem ready to fight and defend. While NATO fucking allies are decreasing their military because they're forcing them to get vaccine, knowing that they don't want to get vaccine, knowing that they're going to fight not to be vaccine, knowing that they're going to kick them out for not being vaccine or vaccinated. We're decreasing our militaries. Wow. Russia, China, well, they're populating their militaries. The UK, they're on that dumb shit too. Evil shit. UK government contract with the Ministry of Defense that is worth upwards to £250 million for operational rational packs. Yes, that sacrifice that the French president was just talking about. This is that sacrifice. It's for you to have ready meals, RMEs or MREs or whatever, meal ready, whatever. Operational Ration Pack 2023. This was published, May 6, 22, a couple months ago, from the gov.uk. 24-hour general purpose rations, including ethnic and religious rations, single meal rations, enhanced rations. This is how much they estimate it. 10-man rations, 24-hour cold climate rations, emergency survival rations. And this is for how long that they think it's going to be. Contract end date, March 31st, 2030. They plan on starving us into submission. It's crazy because NATO allies, America, France, British, we're all about destroying the sovereignty of the civilian, taking away their independence, killing the American dollar, the current world reserve currency, that is, making it to where you can spy on individuals with that central bank digital currency, American dollar. And then you ask yourself, why would countries want to decouple from the American dollar? Moscow Exchange bans the American dollar. Well, we'll ban it August 29th. That's in 3 days. The Moscow Exchange will ban the use of dollars as collateral to underwrite transactions, it said on Monday, as Russia seeks to cut dependence on currencies of nations that have imposed sanctions on it. No, they know what they're doing. You're not going to put surveillance on our citizens over here. That's what it's about. Each nation will put surveillance on their own people. You will not put surveillance on my people. I'm the dictator, not Joe Biden. Speaking as if I'm Vladimir Putin. Speaking as if I'm Vladimir Putin. Breaking. BRICS president says Russia and India no longer need U.S. dollar. The two countries have successfully established a mechanism for mutual settlements in rubles and rupees. We have implemented the mechanism of mutual settlements in rubles and rupees, and there is no need for our countries to use the dollar in mutual settlements. And today, a similar mechanism of mutual settlements in rubles and yuan, Chinese yuan, is being developed by China. That means that the BRICS countries are opening up to Russia, offering the opportunity for the country to overcome the consequence of sanctions. The BRICS president said mutual trade between India and Russia had grown fivefold over the past 40 years. Moscow supplies a rapidly growing volume of oil to India and in return gets large quantities of agricultural products, textiles, medicines, and other products. They don't need America anymore. Without the American dollar being the sole world currency, reserve currency, that means that that living that we are accustomed to has to go down naturally. Maybe that's why Joe Biden's pumping so much money in Ukraine. Maybe they see this collapse happening and their pockets must be filled. Their allies' pockets must be greased. Because our pockets, the middle class, the lower class, our pockets are going to hurt. Our way of living is going to hurt. They'll be fine. But the most surprising thing that I came across was Mexico. Mexico's central bank debates whether to decouple from the U.S. Fed. Mexico's central bank board is debating how closely to follow U.S. interest rate rises as members grapple with slowing growth and the fastest inflation in 2 decades. I don't know if I said this on my show, but my main concern with world affairs was Mexico joining the BRICS nations because of their relationship with Brazil. That was my biggest concern, is having a Russian military base on American borders. Having a Chinese military base on American borders. That's a concern. I don't know if it's going to happen. But I just know ever since Joe Biden has been president of the United States, his relationship with Mexico has been a rocky one. And Mexico's relationship with Brazil has been a great one. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you. Thank you on joining me. It's been an awesome show. I'll catch you, if not Tuesday, next Saturday. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Catch you later. Bye-bye.